If you're above 35 years old and you have yourself 3 friends and above, you lost the game. Tukubaliane tu hapo hivi na hakuna feelings. This is a fact. At that age, we usually say it is the young age of being old. And you have yourself, you're flocking yourself with more than 3 friends or even have 3 friends and such kind of a thing. You call them your friends, kila mahali unaenda, you hang around with them. But the question is this, what do they bring on board? Or what's the purpose of you having all those kind of friends on your board? So the point is this, I'm going to share with you exactly why I consider you lost, and that is not the appropriate way to do things, especially ukifikisha at that age. And guess what? I usually post a video each and every day talking about general social life, about where you can be able to monitor your development. Number 2, I post about finance and anything related to investment and other good tips. If you don't want to miss any good of my videos in future, it is very simple. Make sure that you, down below there is a button written subscribe. Click that button and also like this video. And once you do exactly that, YouTube will notify you whenever I upload a new good video. So let's get into today's business. Now, the point is this. If you're that 5 years old and you have yourself 3 friends, you're lost. Simply means that you're getting it wrong. The fact remains that the older you get, the lesser friends you have. And these people that usually surround yourself with, I'm not saying that you be an island, you be an individual who doesn't have people who surrounds them. My point is this, if you have to have people, then let them be strategic people. What exactly do I mean by that specific point? You have to surround yourself with people who perform or have different understanding or knowledge about particular field. That's the reality, because there is one thing that you should realize when you grow old. Once you grow old, you tend to have your family, meaning you have your wife, you have your children, or maybe you have your husband, you have your children. More responsibilities comes in. And of course, the more you have more responsibilities, it means you have more risk can come from different areas. All right. So the point is this, I am not saying that you cannot be able to have a friend. It's good if you have that one friend of yours, and probably hardly can you make a friend when you reach 30. These friends that you usually hang around with probably is a friend whom you met way long ago, maybe back in high school, some people even back into primary schools and such kind of things. Don't belie that you can make a friend at 35 and believe and end up having a fantastic time the rest of your life. Yes, I'm not saying it's not possible. There are some isolated cases, but in most cases, those people who are considered as close friends are people who actually hail from way back in terms of time. All right. So the point is this: it's good to have yourself that good friend whom you share things, but again, always sharing for your information with a pinch of salt. There are some 6 things that they say that you're never supposed to share with your friends. And I'm going to echo that. Perhaps maybe you never watched that video. Never share about how much you usually make per month, per day, per week, whatever the time you get paid. Number 2, never share about your love life. Number 3, never share about your next move. Never share those things. And again, of course, never share your particulars like the pins and what have you. Of course, those ones I bet you knew about them, okay? And by the way, if you are planning to do something, don't overshare that information to some people, because statistics say that once you share that information you get demotivated to a point whereby you cannot even actualize that dream. So this is the point. You see, the more you grow old, the more you realize you have more responsibilities, and that means you might have different attacks from different areas. Like, take an example when you were not married, for instance, and you had no children, you had no wife and such kind of a thing. Of course, the only way you could be attacked, it's only you. If you were to get sick, it's only you. But here you have kids, you have whatever, saying you can be hit from different areas. And this is the people who I usually recommend in most cases, or in all the cases, you should have them as your friends, right? As friends. But one, you're supposed to have what we call the strategic individuals. Strategic individuals, these are individuals who has knowledge about particular thing. All right, you're out there, you need to have yourself a lawyer. That's for sure. You need to have your lawyer at your disposal. If you scroll down your contacts, you need to have a lawyer somewhere, because at the end of the day, you never know. One thing about life, and we usually say that the most predictable thing about life is unpredictability. Simply means you cannot predict what will happen the next minute. Having your lawyer at that disposal, you never know. You might want to contract a deal. You want to have some signatories. Maybe you want to buy a piece of land. Maybe you want to buy a vehicle. Maybe you want to do a certain purchase. So having a lawyer at your disposal, it's an amazing thing, rather than you looking for that lawyer, of course, when you need that service, and that one does not resonate well. That's the point. All right. Number 2, you might get yourself into issues whereby maybe you need to have maybe you got arrested and something of sort. You need this lawyer. All right. Number 2, another strategic individual that you need to have when you're an adult, of course, you need to have yourself a doctor at your disposal. All right. You need to have a doctor as your friend. Why? Because you can eat something that is not okay with your body. All right. And one thing that you're supposed to understand in this field of health, there is a lot of manipulation. That's for a fact. I don't know whether you've visited any health center, in a way, maybe you're facing some challenges and what have you. And the way they treat you, well, of course, they give you good services, but at the end of the day, they manipulate you because at the end of the day, you do not even understand how much should be charged, where, and such kind of a thing. So having yourself a doctor at your disposal plays a very vital role in actually, before you even visit that specific dispensary close to your home or something, it's an individual whom you can give a call, explain how you're feeling, and then they tell you. If you guys, you're vastly distanced, then you can, he or she can be able to guide you and tell you, I bet you should go and do this test, you should do the other, you should do the other because of this and such kind of a thing. You have the information, you have the knowledge for you to go ahead and do that. Sorry guys, it's about cold, yeah. So anyway, the other individual that you need to have, of course, a laboratory technician, or more or less the same like the doctor. The other individual that you need to have, of course, you need to have a police officer at your disposal. You never know, if you do the, of course, you might find yourself rubbing shoulders with the government, you might get arrested somewhere, and maybe you need to have that individual whom you can give a call and of course get the service, and of course be not be mistreated. Because at the end of the day, what I realized, let's not bury our heads under the sand. Let's agree the one thing, the Kenya that we live in, of course, we need to have yourself a police at your disposal, because you never know. Anything can crop up, and that means that you need those kind of services from those specific individuals. So having a police officer at your disposal, it's an amazing thing, it's a necessity, especially if you're an adult and you have a lot of moving parts in your life. And I said, when I mean moving parts, of course, you have a lot of things associated with you, and of course a risk can come from different and vast areas. So for that, you need to have yourself covered and such kind of a thing. You also need to have somebody who understands things to do with finance. Somebody who, you can just give a call and tell them, hey, you know what, I got myself like 2 million. I was thinking of buying treasury bonds or treasury bills, or I have an alternative, or maybe buying a piece of land. What do you think? What would be the appropriate thing to do? And that individual tells you, hey, you know what, I think this is the right thing to do, because if you do this according to where Kenya is in terms of economy, according to what, blah, 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 all that kind of information. Let me tell you one thing. Perhaps you're out there, you haven't reached to a point whereby to appreciate the fact that knowledge is power. And a lot of people tend to think they understand how money works, but majority don't. All right? So it is good to have yourself an individual who at least have some knowledge about the money, because if you do not have such kind of an individual, you're likely to make a wrong decision. You're likely to make a wrong move, and once you make a wrong move, then there you will be, it will cost you more than it would have costed you contracting that specific financial advisor. Now there was somebody who was running a certain statistics and was asking people randomly, if you were to win a jackpot, let's say worth $1 million bob, $100 million bob, what would be your first reaction? What would be your first thing to do, and how are you going to invest that money? I only had one individual who said, hey, I will contract a financial advisor and use like 2 million and $1 million bob, and know exactly how I can be able to use the rest of the money. And majority of other people are saying, hey, I'll buy this, I'll buy the other, I'll buy the other, I'll buy the other. Yeah, it's true, some people can get it right, but majority usually get it wrong, especially when you get marked with that kind of money at that particular point. So having yourself a financial advisor who can be able to take you through, explain to you, and guide you and tell you, hey, you know what, this is how you do it, this is how you can plan your money, this is how you can invest and progress to the next level. That's an essential step, that's a necessary step that can actually facilitate your growth and to the next point. Of course, other people that you need in your life, of course, you need some people, we call them the foremen here, or the architecture engineers. If you're into real estate, somebody whom you can just give them a call. You also need to have this what do we call them, these common people, and I'm sorry to use that term due to lack of better word, are these people like technicians, like they can repair your electricity, somebody who can repair your plumbing and something of the sort. It's good to encircle yourself with this kind of an individual. It's not when you that a need arises, it's time now you're scrambling to get that individual. It is good to make sure that at least you have these individuals at your disposal, so that at least whenever a problem, a challenge, a need arises, then you can just scroll to your phone book, get them, and of course you move to the next level. That makes you perceived or look as if you're prepared. That's a reality, because if you're just out there and then you're relying by chances, then it means that you're failing to plan. And of course you know what it means by failing to plan. It simply means that you're planning to fail. That's a reality and that's a fact. So what do I mean if I can just summarize that in a very simple words? I'm saying this. If you're having yourself friends, whom you call friends, you just hang around, you drink together, you just do anything like this, not progressive in your life, and you call them your friends, then you're lost. That's a fact. Yes, I know this one may not augur well with the majority of people, but we have to speak it as it is because it is the truth, and there's nothing else we can substitute with the truth. Encircle yourself with individuals who you know are called strategic people. All right. And by the way, before I forget, there is another individual whom you need to have at your disposal. This is a religious or spiritual individual. If you believe in God, if you are a spiritual individual, if you're a religious individual, you need to have somebody who can grow you spiritually, somebody who can actually facilitate your growth so that at least you grow up, or and if you bring up your kids in a very appropriate, right, and recommended manner. So what was I saying? I was saying thing is good to have yourself strategic people, people who are designated to perform a certain particular product. And of course, you yourself, as much as you're looking for all those people, then what can you offer? Who is you and what exactly are you good at? Because as much as you want to be those guys, you want them to be beneficial to you as well, you need to be beneficial to them. Because let me tell you one thing, this world that you're living in is a symbiotic kind of a relationship that you are. Of course, you have to do something for me as much as I'm going to do something for you. You have to be productive. You have to be an important individual in the society. You must have something. At least for God's sake, you need to know something that as well they can benefit from you. Because there is one favor that you realize you will get from them. Number one, of course, they will never give you pricing like the other kind of individual who is outside their circle. You need to have these guys, okay? And of course, that comes with the price itself. Even if it's not a monetary price, it comes with you also helping them, scrubbing their shoulders as well, to help them as well. They can be able to proceed and grow to the next level. That's a reality. Anyway, guys, if you're here for the first time in watching me, my name is Joseph. Talk about money, investment, anything related to exactly that. If you love that kind of a thing, then consider this place a home by doing exactly what? Simple. Subscribing, liking this video, sharing it out, commenting down below, because I believe you get something as well, can learn from. And most of it, or rather on top of that, you can grab my number from the description of this specific video. Give me a call. I offer services pertaining to finance. Or you can go ahead and give me a text on the WhatsApp to get the booklets about investments, about shares, treasury bonds, treasury bills, money market fund, and such kind of a thing. Only a copy, it's 280 shillings. My number, I'll leave them on the description of this specific box. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one. Don't forget to like